Welcome on back to Skippers. Today I have some draft day steals for hitters. 4 undervalued players, I think. You should just take them where they're going in their drafts. Again, road to 30,000 subscribers, so please subscribe, join the Discord. Let's get into the 4 players. First one is a guy I just absolutely cannot quit, and that is Byron Buxton of the Twins. This season, he has an ADP at 86. Last season, he hit 224, 28 home runs, 51 runs batted in, 6 stolen bases, and an 832 OPS. He is one of my favorite players to watch in all of baseball, and he really does have MVP talent when he can stay on the field. I refuse to just be out on him because the 1 year I'm finally out on Byron Buxton is the year he is going to win MVP and he's going to be the best baseball player in the world. When Byron Buxton is on the baseball field, you are getting elite production. His 28 home runs came in only 92 games last season, and if you put him at a 140 game pace, that is still 43 home runs. Last year we were taking Byron Buxton in about the 5th round. This season, we get him in around the 8th round, and that should take away some of the risk on Byron Buxton. Last year, Byron Buxton was over the 90th percentile in average exit velocity, max exit velocity, hard hit percentage, expected weighted on base average, expected slug, barrel percentage, and sprint speed. Buxton is a true 5-tool player who has the makings of a league winner. The Twins are a solid team looking towards the playoffs this season, and they've talked about playing Byron Buxton more at DH this season to try and keep him on the field. And I also think you should expect to see him run less while trying to keep him on the field despite the elite speed. Buxton hit 306 during the 2021 season and had a manageable 24.4% strikeout rate. And then 2022 happened with a 224 average and a 30.4% strikeout rate. To be fair, his expected batting average was on par with his career numbers at 244. But if Byron Buxton stays on the field, he is way too undervalued at this ADP. The next player is going to be Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks. He has an ADP of 115. Last year, he hit 240, 36 home runs, 94 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, and an 800 OPS. Christian Walker raised his home run total from 10 to 36 and ended his 160-game season with 94 runs batted in and 84 runs scored, as well as a weighted runs created plus of 122. An improved offense around him should only boost his numbers in 2023 and should be one of the biggest sleepers in the draft when it comes to runs batted in. Let's look at the top of what the D-backs lineup should be this season. You should have some mix of Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte hitting ahead of Christian Walker in the 4-hole. Obviously, Corbin Carroll is going to be able to manufacture a ton of runs on his own thanks to his elite speed, but there's got to be someone to drive him in, and that is going to be Christian Walker. Last year, Walker was in the top 8% of the league in both expected weighted on base average and expected slug, to go along with a solid walk rate in the 78th percentile. Walker had a barrel rate in the 82nd percentile to go along with a BABIP 60 points lower than each of his 3 previous seasons. We have to think that Christian Walker can deliver even more RBIs and a better batting average than last season. Last year, there were 30 hitters that had more than 400 runners on base when they came to the plate, and Christian Walker ranked only 22nd in RBI percentage of those guys. Christian Walker dropped his strikeout rate, upped his walk rate, and had the most barreled baseballs of his career. I think Christian Walker found it last season, should be able to, again, up the batting average with more RBIs mixed in there as well. And if he does that, he will be a steal on draft day. The third guy here is a guy I'm going to try and play off you guys. I've written about him. The name I was kind of set on putting in this video, and I'm not sure how I feel totally, but I'm going to say Riley Green of the Tigers with an ADP at 190. Last year, he hit 250, 5 home runs, 42 runs batted in, had a stolen base, and a 677 OPS. I don't love taking spring training stats for more than what they are on the surface, but Riley Green has shown that he has the same potential he had in the minors over these 30 spring training at-bats. He's hitting 300, he has 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in, stolen base, and an 867 OPS. He is a big-time prospect, and that type of talent doesn't just go away when you struggle after 1 season in the big leagues, so I'm going to count on him to bounce back a little bit, and I think he would be undervalued at this ADP. Although he was in the bottom 10% of the league in strikeout rate, the hitting numbers are actually solid. He was in the 82nd percentile in max exit velocity, 77th percentile in hard hit rate, and he was above league average in both barrel rate and chase rate while getting on base at a 320 clip. Something that also gets me going with Riley Green is the new dimensions at Comerica. It was something that was long overdue as it ranked 26th in park factors for left-handed hitters over the last 3 seasons. Center field has been moved in by 10 feet, and the walls in right and center have also been lowered as well. With those new dimensions, they say that Riley Green would have had 4 more home runs last season. Finally, a guy I actually think is a draft day steal. That is going to be Brandon Drury of the Angels, an ADP just under 200 at 198. Last season, he hit 263, 28 home runs, 87 runs batted in, 2 bags, and an 812 OPS. Brandon Drury saw a power surge seemingly out of nowhere last season, which led to a silver slugger and a new 2-year deal with the Angels. Although he doesn't have a set position, I still think he's an everyday guy in this Angels lineup. His isolated power spiked from 202 to 230, and he ran a low batting average on balls in play at only 293. He contributed last season with over 150 runs and RBIs combined, and I don't think that should make you a pick close to the top 200 in leagues. The last 2 seasons, Drury has ran a weighted runs created plus of 114 and 123, but when you hit more home runs than you did in the previous 4 seasons combined, it makes you take notice. What makes Drury such a good draft target at the end of your drafts is his multi-positional eligibility along with this great production. If he is going to hit close to 250, add a ton of runs and RBIs, and he can be slotted in the first base, second base, and third base position, he is a dream pick to be taken at the end of your drafts. Drury's in a good lineup. He's at a good park to hit at, and I think this is just dumb to have him taken at the top 200. So those are 4 of my draft day steals for hitters. I will have a pitchers video coming for you tomorrow. Please subscribe, join the Discord, and I will see you guys then.